Hi there, welcome back. Now, if you think that building your company brand is more important, should be a higher priority than building your personal brand, then I want to tell you all the reasons you're wrong and why you should be so excited by that. Stick around. If you're watching this, then I guarantee you sell something. It might be consulting, it might be training, it might be products, it might be services, it might be one of a million things. You might be watching this thinking, I'm not involved in sales. I work within somebody else's company in admin. Well, let me tell you this. You do sell something. If you want to progress in your career, it's yourself you're selling, my friend. So this matters to you. So this is the one question I hear all the time. Company brand or personal brand? A lot of the time, people who are maybe a little bit insecure, they instantly want to push their company brand to the front. I don't want to be visible. I want my company brand to be the one that's recognized by everyone. And then they wonder why life is so difficult for them. So I'm going to tell you why, and why I think putting your personal brand before the company brand for a lot of people, probably you, will get you much better results much more quickly. So I want things to be easy for you. I don't want you to be pushing uphill all the time, swimming against the tide. I want you to be able to go with the flow, to be able to go with nature. So if we understand how people work and what a brand is, then we can rearrange what we're doing in order to be much, much more effective. My name is Bob Gentle and I host the Personal Brand Entrepreneur Show. I have interviewed hundreds of the world's best personal brand business owners and I've unpicked how this all works. I'm going to share it with you today. So to answer this question of personal brand or company brand, you and I are going to have to jump in a time machine and head on back to the days of the cavemen. Possibly not quite that far, but we've arrived and we're observing an ancient tribe. And what we'll notice is that the tribe has a structure. There is a guy that seems to be in charge. It's not quite formalized yet, but everybody kind of defers to that person, looks up and said that person's clearly in charge. There we have a leader, a marked leader, and everybody around that leader grows to support them. Anybody that the tribe sees as particularly strong has potential to become the leader. Anybody they see as potentially weak is either shunned or ignored. That's the origin of the company. It's a group of people coming together to support each other. Logos and brands, they evolved a little bit later. It started with maybe a little bit of a symbol on a bit of a stick, grew into flags, and then the guilds of commerce came along and they needed a symbol as well. And then everybody else thought, well, I own a little clock shop, so I'm going to have a picture that symbolizes my company, and logos were born. So this is the origin of the company and the company logo. I'm hugely simplifying this. But the reason they exist was to give a group an identity. You'll most commonly see it with countries. Countries have an identity now. There's a flag, the country has a name. Everybody identifies with that. Large corporations have identities, they have symbols. That group of individuals who work within that structure identify strongly with it, and those of us outside it can identify that company by it as well. It's useful, it's practical in that context. For smaller businesses, far less so. For individuals that want to progress, even less so. Now the thing with company logos, especially when you're a big organization or a country, it's super impressive. But as a smaller organization, impressive doesn't necessarily equal effective. And this is important to distinguish. If you want to build a corporate brand or a company brand and you want recognition beyond a very small area, it is a huge mammoth task. It takes a lot of momentum to achieve that. And that momentum is typically only gained by throwing money at marketing. And you have to spend a ton of marketing to penetrate any kind of market as a company brand. Personal brand, it's a whole different story. And I'm going to come to that in a minute. But I'm not finished with the history lesson yet. We're still in our time machine and we're going to pop through history a little bit and we're going to notice as we travel through time, individuals emerge. People like Joan of Arc, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, lots of others. Individuals, personal brands, emerge through history. And the reason they emerge through history is because we tell stories about them. Those people's stories are much more powerful. We engage with those people on an emotional level. We rally around them. We celebrate them in ways that we never celebrate guilds. We never celebrate historical companies. We never celebrate countries in that way. These are the superstars of history because people tell stories about them, because they accidentally developed a personal brand that lasted through time. So these individuals have emerged out of history. Why have they done that? It's because people spoke about them a lot. They developed legends, they developed stories, they developed fables, a mythology. And because of that, their stories have echoed through time. But at the same time, they echoed geographically and they lasted in a way that company brands from the same time just haven't. We don't talk about the organizations or the structures from those times. We remember the people. And there's an important lesson in this for us. And I guess, in essence, the story is we don't tell stories about companies half as much as we tell stories about people. So this is basic human nature. We need to understand that, accept it, and then move on to, okay, this being true, what should we be doing then? So let's look again at human nature. We are essentially pack animals. We support those we see as being strong. At an unconscious level, it's not something we're doing rationally or intentionally. It's just human nature. We avoid those that we see as being weak, or we ignore them, or we shun them, or we certainly don't go out to actively support them in business. Obviously, there's a charitable aspect to the human being. I'm not disputing that. But the human species as a whole will support those they see as strong. Those they see as strong rather than those that are strong. This is the important distinction. So you're probably watching this so far and thinking, but Bob, companies build brands all the time. Yes, they do. They can get lucky. They can spend a ton of money. And they can build brands within a local geographic area. But the truth is, probably your company is not as well known as you would like it to be. You're not competing the way you would like to. If you want to be able to leapfrog everybody else that's trying to build a company brand, they're trying to get noticed, they're trying to achieve visibility. If you're looking for a superpower or a secret weapon, your personal brand is it. And I'm going to tell you why. The truth is, building your personal brand is working with the physics of human nature. We tell stories about people. We amplify legends. We support mythologies for people the way that we just don't for companies. So if we want people to transmit our stories, if we want people to transmit our mythology from us through the content that we create, through the stories we tell, that will happen more effectively. And I'm talking orders of magnitude more effectively when we put ourselves first, when we try and build that personal brand, when we enhance our visibility, when we use our faces in our content, when we show up in people's lives. Whether that's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it doesn't matter. Stop hiding behind your logo and hoping that somehow you'll break through. Step out in front of your logo, say hello to people, tell your stories, and that will then be amplified out through your communities and cut through in ways that your company just hasn't. It does ask more of you, but it will pay the rewards, I promise you. So a lot of people that still won't believe me. So here are a few examples. Do you think Tesla or Elon Musk? Who are you most likely to call? Microsoft or Bill Gates? Which stands out most? Amazon or Jeff Bezos? Which of those do you actually feel emotional about? Or who could you imagine connecting with? Oprah or Harpo Enterprises? Have you ever heard of Harpo Enterprises? No, because Oprah cuts through.
Were you silent or were you silenced?
Then there's Jay-Z or Carter Enterprises. Have you even heard of Carter Enterprises? It's a huge business, but you know Jay-Z. These personal brands transcend their businesses. They get noticed. These people knew they were going to get noticed more quickly, more effectively if they put themselves out front. And you can too. So I'm fully expecting there's still a lot of resistance here. So this is why it matters. You want the prospect to call you, not the other guy. So be the guy they know. You want your social media to cut through, you put your face in it. You put yourself out front, you tell your stories. Those stories will be transmitted, they'll be repeated, they'll be echoed. They'll connect in ways that if you're just putting your company logo in your social media and pictures of stuff, it won't work. Your business will grow, guaranteed. You want to get a promotion? You focus on your personal brand and the stories you tell about yourself in your organization, you will get noticed. Those stories will be retold. If you want to bring in investment, people invest in people that look like they're going somewhere. So be the guy who looks like he's going somewhere. Focus on your mythology, your personal brand. The investment will come more easily. If you focus on your personal brand first, everything in business will be easier. I guarantee it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, consider giving it a thumbs up. Let YouTube know. This matters more than you would think, because the algorithm will only really promote videos that get engagement. So your thumbs up makes a difference to me, I promise you. Give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will be thrilled. If you have any questions about why this matters, I'm waiting for you down in the comments, and I would love to chat with you there. My name is Bob Gentle. Again, welcome to Amplify, and thank you for watching.